Yeah. So with respect to bonus, yeah, we discussed this point many a times. Currently, yes, the threshold limit for applicability of payment of bonus act is 20. Through the codes also, it is 20 only. But subsequently, once the act becomes applicable, subsequently, if the threshold limit falls below 20, the act will continue to apply currently, right? But in the code, it is not so. Actually, if we strictly go through the wordings, it appears that in every accounting year, at least for a single day, the company should have engaged 20 or more employees, right? Only then for that accounting year, the company becomes liable for payment of bonus. It appears like that because of the wordings used, but as such, I don't think any change is made. If it is implemented in the same fashion, there could be some confusion. We may have to get the guidelines from the department concerned, right? Let us be aware of this. And salary ceiling for eligibility and calculation. For eligibility, it is 21,000. We all know. For calculation, it is 7,000 or minimum rates of wages, whichever is higher, right? And it is fixed by the central government, and it is common across the country. But now the powers are given to the appropriate governments. So again, we may have to watch out for the notifications to be issued by the appropriate governments, which means various state governments as well as the central government. So the quantum, the salary ceiling for eligibility for bonus or for calculation of bonus could differ from one state to another state. It is possible, right? But we may have to wait for the notifications and payment to be made by giving bank credit. So no other mode is permitted as far as bonus is concerned. Very specifically, it is mentioned it should be given. A bonus shall be paid by giving on bank credit direct to the individual employee's account. So again, this will make us to get the data properly from the individual employee when he is recruited. So maybe his bank details, account details, right? Again, Aadhaar card, it is absolutely required. So those process changes we may have to bring in. Conviction for sexual harassment is also a cause for disqualification of bonus. Currently, if the person is found guilty for riotous behavior or for theft, for the proven misconducts, they will not be entitled for receiving bonus for that particular accounting year, right? Along with that, now the conviction for sexual harassment is also added. So if some person is found guilty after properly holding the inquiry of sexual harassment, then I think that person will not be entitled for receiving bonus for that accounting year. And with respect to contract labor, again, regular workers of a contractor, no more contract workers. I think we have discussed this again number of times. Currently, whether the workers are mobilized by the contractor specifically after securing that contract, or whether the contractor is engaging his own employees for carrying out the obligations arising of that contract, both these types of workers are considered to be contract workers today, right? But legal position is something different, but in practice it is like that only. But very clearly, as per the code, the definition itself very clearly says if the person happens to be a regular worker of the contractor, because contractor himself is a legal entity, then that person will not be treated as contract worker for the principal employer. So this effect can be, you may have to reduce the number of if you had already added these persons also as contract workers in the count, then you may have to again revisit it. You may have to deduct it, right? Reduce it. So assume that you have 55 contract workers now, and 10 out of the 55, 10 are the regular employees of the contractor. Then once the code is implemented, the count will come down to 45. It will not continue to be 55. It will come down to 45. When it is less than 50, then again the Contract Labor Act will not be applicable, because as per the code, the threshold limit is also increased. Only if there are 50 or more contract workers in an establishment, only for those establishments the act will be applicable. That is, the contract labor part will be applicable, right? So this is how the impact would be. So we should be very, very watchful actually. Company shall pay to the contractor before the contractor makes the payment of wages. I think this is another catch. So again, payment of wages is to be made within 7 days. So the contractor is also subject to that. So he has to make payment of wages to his workers within 7 days. But the as per the code, the provision says the contract, the consideration to be paid to the contractor, it should be made in the first place. That is before the contractor makes the payment of wages to his, which means ultimately it implies within 7 days the consideration is to be paid. So some of us definitely will have clauses in the agreement that the payment will be to the contractor will be made, say, within 2 months after the amount consideration becomes payable, right? But that may not be valid once the codes are implemented, because it is very clear as per the provision, it should be paid in the first place to the contractor. Only out of that consideration, the contractor has to pay his wages to his employees, workers, which means it is to be done within 7 days. So the payment by the principal employer is to be made again within 7 days. Only then he can make that, right? So it is kind of indirect push. So this process change is also to be made. And in case of non-payment of minimum bonus, principal employer will have vicarious liability. Honestly speaking, personally, I'm not in agreement with this point, but it is there in the draft code on wages rules, right? If the contractor fails to pay the bonus to his workers, then the liability passes on to principal employer to pay at least the minimum bonus, right? So again, I would say, as per the definition of the term wage under the code itself, it very clearly excludes payment of bonus. I think then why principal employers are made responsible for payment of minimum bonus if the contractor fails? I'm not able to understand that. Honestly speaking, I'm not in agreement, but this is how the provision is. Let us see whether any changes made before the codes are implemented. Otherwise, we have to put up with this only. Then the term employer would now include contractor. I think practically, I don't think there will be any change, right? Contractor, yes, for the persons mobilized by him, the workers who are brought in to the establishment by the contractor, yes, he's liable. Now a kind of emphasis is made. That's it.